Hello everyone, welcome again to the Blobiverse Devlog series. So, this video is late. As you can tell, Blobiverse is already released. I credit this to an improvement in Apple's review process because in the past, Blobiverse took days and sometimes weeks to get reviewed. So, this time, Blobiverse was reviewed at 3 AM, less than 6 hours after submission, so well done Apple, thank you. So, at some point, I made a conscious decision to complete and release the game. I could have spent one more year polishing Blobiverse, but I thought, what good is another year of development if you guys can't be a part of it? The question is, why? Why is it ready now and not before? And the answer lies in a lot of small details and a lot of polish. So first, let's talk about what happens when you zoom in. When you take a moment to breathe and to pay attention to the stillness of nature, the trees and bushes and everything. And I thought, you know what? Nature is not that still. In fact, everything is always moving, whether it be the wind, the weather, the elements, whatever is going on, nature doesn't stop. And Blobiverse needs to feel fluid and smooth in a similar way. So let's just take a moment to appreciate it. All the swaying back and forth, the naturalness of the trees, how the mushrooms and flowers have this kind of breathing. It's just delightful. Now, there is one thing that I spent a lot of time trying to make work, but I realized it wasn't worth it because it's not part of the Blobiverse aesthetic. Spicy and I spent a lot of time looking at Blobiverse with shadows, and we just decided it wasn't worth the performance hit, and it also wasn't part of the look. They look something like this in the meantime, but they aren't really necessary. You guys probably noticed that there's a new app icon. We've also got a new header, looks like this, and I think it's absolutely gorgeous. Please guys, when you have the opportunity, you have to thank Spicy for this work. It is gorgeous. Alright, and for a second, let's talk about blueprints, because they didn't really give you much information. All you know is the blob is building a hut, or a well, or a house, and that's it. But I thought we could go one step further, and you could also see what are the resources that are being used? What do they need? And conveniently, blobs really love when you give them something that they want. Alright, and when it comes to quests, they're completely redone. Reordered, rearranged, and reworded. Every quest now has an XP reward, and this contributes to your total level. The more you level up, the more powers you unlock. And that's right, mana is officially replaced. And each time you level up, you get all these sounds and colors and animations, and it's just wonderful. And I'm hoping it feels satisfying. But you don't have everything unlocked to begin with. You have to gradually level up as you play Blobiverse and acquire and unlock different powers, bases, creatures, items, and buildings. There's 4 different types of reward cards. This is what they look like and what they sound like. And so I was presented with another issue. Once you complete all of the tutorial quests and the main quest line, I felt like there should be a reason for you to open Blobiverse tomorrow and the day after and continue playing, and a way to consistently gain levels. Enter daily quests. Daily quests grant you a pretty substantial amount of experience, and they show up once every day. If you want to level up even faster, you can actually gain daily boost experience from the shop, and it will be almost like you completed 1.5 daily quests that day. There are some cool user interface stuff like the new alert interface. I use this to display all kinds of interesting information to the player or warn them if they're about to take some kind of action, request permission from the user, or something along those lines. And the new shop interface. Look at that, buttery smooth animation. So the shop and the advertisements, that's how I can continue working on Blobiverse. So if you guys can, please do get that daily boost experience every day. And if you've got the change, go ahead and buy some of those extra worlds or extra faces as you please. So you're also going to notice that there's actually a purchase, which unlocks unlimited fast speed. So let's talk about fast speed. It turns out that Blobiverse isn't as immersive and fun if you leave it on fast mode forever. Blobiverse is about being God and watching the world evolve, but there's something else hugely important in this game, and that's what's supposed to set it apart from other God games. It's also about making connections with individuals, having a godly relationship between you and the people, having favorites, following them around, chronicling the life of Bob, your favorite blob, and seeing what does he do, where does he go, and that sort of thing. And I realized that when you just leave Blobiverse on fast mode, it pulls you away and it makes you think of the game as just a world simulator. Like I said, that's part of the gameplay, but there's more to it, and I would like to encourage that. Obviously, if you want that, the option is still available. You can just unlock it through the shop. And of course, I had to work on advertising and payment integration. This is a lot of busy work. It's not really that interesting, but it has to work smoothly, and if this all works, then Blobiverse can be continued for development for the foreseeable future. So you guys probably also noticed that in the title screen, we've got the social media links now, all of them right there in the bottom. They automatically adjust based on which social media apps that you've got. If you don't have Twitter, it doesn't show up. If you have Discord, it does. And hopefully these links will bring more people to Blobiverse and spice up our community, because we're really in this together and every single new person counts. So here comes the part where I talk about the future. Okay, so ideally I'm hoping I can release updates weekly for Blobiverse. That means a couple new quests here and there, a couple new faces here and there, maybe a creature once in a while, and once or twice a month release bigger content updates which include a bunch of other new stuff. Obviously this all depends on how busy I am day to day, but I'm hoping that I can stick to this schedule and we'll continue to get content for the rest of the year and the future after that. A lot of people have asked, when is Blobiverse coming to Android? And the answer to that is, I would very much like to port Blobiverse. However, I need to see iOS succeed on the iPhone, iPad devices, all that kind of thing. And once we have secured that funding, I can start making Blobiverse for Android. The problem here is that I will have to remake the game from scratch. Obviously, I still have all the art assets, all the music and sound. However, this still takes a lot of time. It's a different programming language, a different device, and a different IDE. So it's going to be a very big time investment, and unless I know it's going to succeed, I can't get started on it. So I hope you guys understand. But otherwise, I'm very excited for this game to get popular, and hopefully we can get to that stage. Alright, and I've got a lot of ideas. In fact, if I started developing all of my ideas for future Blobiverse, likely it would take several years. But just as an example, there are some things that I have lined up, potentially for the future. These plans are all subject to change, but I'm hoping to introduce some really cool updates, like farming for blobs, shepherding for them to bring animals closer to the town and keep them there. I also did not have time to include the night update in this release, so that is definitely coming soon. Blobs, they're going to need to build boats, go fishing, and to travel to different islands. We could introduce different types of metals and economy, clothing, some life variation to the world, like birds and maybe some bees in there, traditions and ceremonies, spicing up the ocean and adding more life to it, and of course, big updates to war, the economy, merchant parties, and settlers. Some of these things are coming sooner than other things, and that all depends on what people are most interested in. So please comment in the Discord under the video, and I will try to prioritize the things that you guys want most. Alright, thank you so much for watching this video. I'm signing out, getting back to work, and I'll catch you guys next time.